Note the skull on the map.
That's so hardcore.
Meet me on Skull Desert.
Skull Desert. You should name the maps. Gold Rush. What the hell is that?
Skull Desert, man. It's way better. In the bottom right, in yellow, he is last. Sorry, I'm doing my GSL thing. Sorry, guys. I forgot.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
In the middle left.
That's what it might sound like when his last hatchery dies this game. Okay, so I am actually starting to get an idea. If we actually want for Brood War to truly be revived, we should actually just let you name all the maps.
Yeah, I think we should.
Skull
Desert.
Like, think about the names that maps have. Like, I mean, okay, so we obviously, all of us watching here, we know the StarCraft map names. And they, to be honest, they used to be cooler. Big Game Hunters, that's a cool map.
Who's that guy? Oh, wait a minute. Is that the Great Caster Rassels? Also welcome to the studio. That's not Rassels. Rabbit. He's also welcome here.
But, like, I mean, the map names used to be better. Big Game Hunters, that's a really good map name. Big Game Hunters, that's cool. That makes you feel something, right? The Lost Temple. Well, you find out pretty quick it's in the middle of the map, but, you know, it's like, that's a cool map name.
I'm like, no where I found the temple. It's just go right through the middle.
But Gold Rush? Who the hell named this Gold Rush when they could have named it? What did you want to name it? Skull Desert?
Skull Desert is way better.
That's like such... If I'm, like, playing some other game, right, some other esport, and I hear that there's a match going on in Skull Desert, I'm like, well, I have to tune in just to see what that map looks like. And then I look at this and I'm like, oh shit, there's a skull in that desert. That's awesome.
And look at that Skullertosis. Is it laughing or is it screaming?
Yeah. It looks like one of these skulls. What a video game where flaming skulls shoot at you. Must be Legend of Zelda.
Castlevania or something like that.
I think, yeah, something like that.
Something that was on an 8-bit Nintendo for sure. By the way, we have barracks out in the middle. Well, not in the very middle, but out at what could be a third base on this map. And I got to say, he might try to put some serious pressure on with bunkers and Marines.
Yeah.
It's not a double racks, but it's certainly scary. I'm actually surprised he's even firing at that Overlord. He needs to get there so quickly. Again, guys, you see the eggs on the map? Those are on the map so that in certain matchups you can wall off and workers can still slide through, other units cannot.
Hey, do you think he can put that bunker further back, like maybe in the skull's eyeball?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a pretty... Well, I think this is a rush that's not engineered to actually kill the hatch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get it, that's great, but...
You're quite right. By building it this far out, you make the drones come so far away that you're basically gaining money. Look at all the lost mining time that's occurring right now for Wear.
This is super frustrating for Zergs. Terra now comes forward, and he's going to get one drone.
Now look at this. He has to run pretty far away from here because the drones are getting around everything. Oh, wow. This is really good micro from our Terran player.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as these drones are chasing him, he's in good shape. This is definitely something you can use to beat up a player who doesn't have a lot of experience against this. It's very easy to go into panic mode. So he doesn't really care if the bunker finishes because the threat of that forced the drones to come out.
He's lost 4, 5, 6 drones? Is it 6 drones?
I think 5 or 6, something
it's
like that.
5 or 6 for sure. So this rush has certainly been successful. Look at that. He's been mining with 3 drones this whole time. He is... truly handicapped after all that. That is very, very painful.
Now, see that egg? That's at the Terran's entrance where he's walling in here. Lynx can't go through that, but workers can. If he right-clicks on a mineral patch, he can see. But does this wall completely... Is that tight? You're a Terran player.
I believe that is tight. I believe that is tight.
We'll be doing
I have to look at the
ASL
sides of the wall. Okay, the sides are definitely tight. On the left of the depot's tight, and on the right of the depot's tight. That barracks, I believe that's a tight wall, if I recall. I haven't walled like that in a really long time.
Yeah, what's going to be 6 years from now, we're still not going to be sure about wall-ins.
Yeah,
so different on every map.
I'm going to have been playing this game literally for 40 years at some point. Like, that's going to happen as long as I don't die young. And I'm going to be like, God, Tasteless, why you put me on the spot of whether this wall is tight? I haven't played Gold Rush. I've only watched it, and I haven't
You got to go the way of the Protoss players who are like, nobody knows for sure. Like,
only LZ Gamer
Only LZ Gamer knows for sure. So let's see this. Yep, I think even Zerg was like, is that wall in tight? I'm actually very surprised he's going to hit the depot here.
Well, he breaks in, and then he'll lose every single Zergling. Oh my God, Tasteless.
Yeah, that is exactly what Last wanted. So if you look at cost efficiency, it's completely fine to lose the depot for that many lings, and this may mean that this game could seesaw where the Terran can actually put a lot more pressure on later on, since Zerg's going to lose a lot of ground control here.
Yeah, this was not good by our Zerg player here. This is like...
Oh, and he's still making more lings.
Yeah, the amount of lings that he has
on this game, so.
is crazy. He has made so many. And I really do like the fact that we're seeing the Academy go up really quickly here. Like,
oh, yeah.
If he just makes, like, 2 fire bats
yeah.
and then walks across the map, it's going to be pretty hard to do anything against that.
Definitely a disparity in skill here between these two guys. Now, I'm not sure what Zerg can do at this point in time. The layer is later. Just like in Starcraft 2, Stim is the real moment where Terran can seize control of the map. You know, of course, minus little SCV Marine pushes. But sorry, has the layer started even, Artosis? Am I crazy?
No, he hasn't started it yet. He just has like a reasonably large size group of lings, which Last even knows about because SCV got out. Like a lot of times as Terran here, you kill that many lings that came in, and you're like, well, you don't have any more lings.
Yeah.
But he knows because the SCV was out there, so.
So the layer is going now, but basically Stim should be done before the layer is even finished.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's going to have to make sunkens, like multiple sunkens, which is just going to hurt his economy even more. With the amount of lings he's made, the amount of drones he's lost, the amount of mining time that he's missed fighting with said drones, like, this is, like, the situation is extremely, extremely good for Last.
I'm not even sure as a Zerg player what would be the play here.
You make a lot of sunkens. Like
no, I mean like talking like past that, like what's the tech you want to get? Like,
well, the one nice thing about Gold Rush is that your bases are kind of behind those eggs. Some of them are, right? So if he can just sunken out the front enough, Last is staying on 2 racks, you know, to make sure that he can hit this push before any tech comes out, which is a very good plan. So, like, that in and of itself becomes the comeback mechanic for Zerg. Like, he will have a third base mining.
By the way, how long does it take for the Marines to kill these eggs? Are these like normal eggs, or these eggs with added HP? Do we know? I'm actually not sure.
I think they're just standard eggs, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay, so he's going to try to go for the counter. Last is going to easily handle this. Yeah. Wow, just barely doesn't get that Overlord. And of course, the Ling's now realizing, well, there's not much we can do. I think he might need a 4th sunken colony, by the way.
With this many Lings to flank and no fire bats in that control group, I think he has enough right now to hold it. If he brings any more bio, then this is something that gets busted really quick.
He's gonna.
I've been running into sunken lines all day, Tasteless. I'm like very fresh on this right now.
You would know. I always find it tricky, especially because I'm not used to controlling Medic Marine. That sometimes it takes a lot of experience to get used to just looking at stuff like sunken colonies and lings and being like, I can or I cannot get in there, you know?
Yeah. Like a group and a half would break this pretty easily, but not what he has here. Now this group coming up, if this just kind of joins, he needs to start some more sunks right now, I
Possibly
think.
2 more even.
Yeah, at least 1 more and some lings. Even if he went 2, I would not hold this against him. Like the number 1 thing he needs to do right now is not die.
Ooh, the fire bat angle is really good. That means his ling count has been reduced.
The amount of fire bat kills lings is just
crazy, man.
It doesn't even make sense.
So, you know, it's a very simple procedure for Terran from here. And a lot of what Terran did after the opening is basic. And I don't mean that in any bad way. I think it's very smart. It's very methodical how he's approaching this. He wants to eventually merge up his army with that army and possibly bust, but at the same time, he wants to make sure there's no other Lings to counterattack. Terran also has the option to try to just keep the Zerg contained and then go back. To make sure there aren't lurkers out on the map, for instance, although we do see mutas are the tech of choice here.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good tech to just kind of keep him back a little bit. Last is teching up as well, not too many barracks going into his starport. And he'll, of course, want to get Irradiate very, very quickly here. Still, you have to realize that Ware is not functioning on a huge economy, and Last is completely aware of that. That's like, it's such an important thing to keep in mind what type of economy the Zerg has had throughout the game. And like, I mean, he's pulled his economy together now, but it's quite late, and he had made so many lings and all that. So Last still in good shape, I would say here, even though Weir has made a very strong defense and is now sitting here on 3 bases and soon 3 gas.
I think he wants to tech to Guardians. I see the Queen's Nest coming down here. Doesn't seem like you'd want to go for Defilers on just Muta Ling.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, that can be a shortcut when you're a little bit behind, because if you actually go into Lurkers, like, for instance, how do you maneuver Lurkers over without a Nidus to your base that's behind those eggs? You don't really, right? So
right.
I could see him staying on the air tech and trying something like that, but if Terran snips it out in enough time, it's pretty easy to counter the Guardians, right? You just go like 2 or 3 port Wraith, and you just stomp it.
So now the army can merge up. I don't know if these mutas are a real threat. I mean, it's something that might keep the Terran somewhat honest.
Yeah.
But Terran, I think, is eventually going to try to go for a push here. Now, the problem is, as many sunks as you have, Lurkers are really what counter. Oh, I love this Valkyrie.
Yeah, that Valk is sick.
So this is more a contemporary Brood War TV Z, excuse me, is that you can start to incorporate some Valkyries. Now, Valkyries, like Valkyrie one-on-one versus Mutas doesn't really actually do that well, but the presence of a Valkyrie basically shuts down the option of Zerg orbiting around this and trying to do damage.
Yeah, they're really hard to micro, whereas a Vessel is super easy. Like, you just kind of click on something, then it starts dying. Whereas the Valkyrie has, like, really slow speed. See, like, for instance, right there, it just dies instantly when he comes at it, knowing
it doesn't
there.
attack immediately.
Yeah, so it's slow attacking, it's slow turning and stuff, but it definitely put a lot of damage on there. Now,
we've got an old-school vanilla push going on here, man.
Yeah.
This is what TVZ looked like even before there were medics in the game, because Brood War wasn't out.
Yeah.
So this is the idea: is you just get up, start getting tanks out there and trying to push through. And this isn't how a lot of TVZs look, but this is still a way to do it based off how the Zergs play in the game.
Yeah, and the reason why Zerg is putting these Sunkens out a little bit as well, those are just making the Terran siege up a little bit more.
That's
He's just
right.
trying to buy as much time as possible. We haven't seen yet, but he has to be going for Greater Spire. That's like,
I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine.
Sense.
He's going to pull the trigger, saying there's enough sunken colonies down that he can begin to spill through. And I think this could be the beginning of the end. I don't believe, even with this high amount of Mutalisks, there's enough to properly combat this. One vessel coming in here.
Oh,
he's got to break it off.
Super dead.
GG. Okay, I like that opening from last. And the closer goes well with it.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage to that initial 8 racks, so good on him for that.